deposits, my gloss is popping. You like my hair? She thinks, just bought it. I see it, I like it, I want it.
You gonna be quiet for mommy? Are you gonna be quiet for mommy? Yeah? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so as you guys can obviously tell by the title of this video, I finally had my baby. I'm a mother, like, oh my god, you guys, I'm a mother, like, can you believe it? So for today, I'm going to be doing my whole labor and delivery story and just basically give you guys a rundown of everything that happened, let you guys know the tea, what my experience was, pain levels, and all of that. If you're not following me on Instagram, you need to go and follow me on Instagram because I post a lot of things on there, and I post little sneak peeks of my baby boy. So if you want to see those, then definitely go ahead and pause this video, go and follow me on Instagram, and then come right back. I'm gonna be really raw and straightforward with the details of this video. So if those details are gonna scare you or disturb you in any way, then I don't think this video is for you. But I'm keeping it real, giving you straightforward. Like, yeah, we big people here, so we gonna talk the things them. Alright. So at 39 weeks, I had a doctor's appointment, and she did the regular ultrasound, checked his heartbeat. Also, she checked his weight to see what it was, because from the beginning of my pregnancy, it was predicted that he would have been on the bigger side, meaning like around 8 pounds. So we regularly checked his weight just to make sure he wasn't getting too big or, you know, whatever. So she checked his heartbeat, she checked his weight. At 39 weeks, I think at 39 I was he was 7 pounds 5 ounces, somewhere around that. I think it was 7 pounds 5 ounces. So he was already big. So it was already starting to, well, she was already starting to get not really worried, but she was like, you know, if he gets too big, especially if he gets overdue, then there might be a possibility that they will want to cut me, because I think for them their rule is like 9 pounds and above. They don't suggest that the woman push the baby because the baby is so big. When coming to the birth canal, you can have a lot of complications. You could have like the shoulder get stuck, or it just brings a lot of complications when a child is that big coming through such a small hole, as you could imagine. So at 39 weeks, he was 7 pounds 5 ounces. His heartbeat was fine, everything was fine. She also gave me a cervix exam, which is when they put their fingers inside and feel your cervix to see if it's opened. Mine was not at all. When you give birth, your cervix has to be 10 centimeters fully dilated in order for you to push a baby out. So I know some people, they don't start dilating until they actually start active labor. Some people would dilate weeks before they even get into active labor, before their due date. So I was hoping that I would be at least 1 or 2 centimeters before my due date, so that I know, okay, well, my body is on the right track and we're doing what we're supposed to do. My body was like, nah, we ain't doing that. No. At that point, I already was starting to get a bit discouraged, because I was like, okay, so I'm 39 weeks, I have 1 more week before my due date, I'm not dilated at all. I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna be late, he's gonna be overdue, and I didn't want that. I was ready to go. I was just over everything. I was anxious to meet him. I'm like, come on, get here, let's get this party going. It didn't happen that way. So after my 39-week appointment, because I wasn't dilated from that day when I got home, every single day I did everything in my power to try and bring on labor. I walked like crazy. Every single day I would walk around my entire neighborhood, walk up hills, walk down hills, like walk all over the place, because they say walking with the gravity and everything helps the baby to come down into the breast canal, and it helps bring on labor, helps open your cervix for dilation. So I was like, okay, we're gonna walk. Also, I had a pregnancy ball every single day. When I wasn't walking outside, I was inside in the living room bouncing on my pregnancy ball. That's another thing that they say helps to dilate your cervix and bring on labor. I was doing all of that. Day before my due date, I went to the hospital and I did a CTG scan, which is when they put this kind of belt on your belly and it just monitors the baby's heartbeat and also monitors if you're having any contractions, which I wasn't at all. Like, I'd never had any type of cramping or pains or anything. Like, for my whole pregnancy up to when he was born, I barely had anything at all. So the day before my due date was the 27th of May. So on the 26th of May, I went to the hospital, did the CTG, no contractions, no dilation, no nothing. I went back home, continued with my walking, continued with my bouncing. All of that every day. Was just home, just waiting for some kind of pain or cramps or something to start to let me know, okay, labor is here, it's time to go. None of that. So the 27th was my due date. Again, nothing. After my due date, every other day I had to go to the hospital to do CTGs, because at that point he was overdue, because my due date has gone. So they had to keep closely monitoring him to make sure that he was fine, make sure that his heartbeat wasn't dropping or anything like that. He was totally fine, he just was stubborn and he didn't want to come out. So every other day I had to go to the hospital to do the CTG scans and also check for any dilation, which I still didn't have any at all. The 2nd of June, my doctor scheduled me for an induction. It's a medication through drips that brings on labor. Got to the hospital with my bags and everything, because it was scheduled for the induction on the 2nd of June. Went ahead, booked into my room, got settled in. To prep for labor, basically, they give you something called an enema. Now, an enema is when they give you a warm bag of water. An enema is when they give you a warm bag of water connected to a tube, and they push it up your bum hole, and the water runs inside your anus, and then you have to shit out the water and everything. It's basically to just empty your bowels, so that when you're pushing out your baby, you don't push out shit as well. Like I said, we're keeping it real. So they gave me the enema, went ahead, used the bathroom, and I came back. They said they wanted to give me an ultrasound just before they gave me the drips for the induction. So I was like, okay, cool. So they came, they rolled me out to the ultrasound room, did the ultrasound. So when I got back to my room, my doctor reviewed the ultrasound. So she comes into me and she's like, we can't do the induction today. Now I start to get pissed, because at that point I was frustrated, because I was like, my body ain't doing what it's supposed to do in order to bring him down and push him out naturally. So I was like, I don't know, I just was over the whole thing. So she came, she was like, we can't do the induction. So I'm like, why? So she's like, she just looked at the ultrasound, and when you do the ultrasound, there's like a weight prediction based on like the size of your uterus and the amount of water in there and blah 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 blah, the technical stuff behind it. So she's like, based on the ultrasound, it looks like he's about 9 pounds 6 ounces or something like that. So I'm like, 9 pounds. I was shocked because, like I said, at 39 weeks he was about 7 pounds 5 ounces. So at this point he was about a week over his due date.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
So I was like, in 2 weeks he went from 7 pounds 5 ounces to over 9 pounds. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So she was like, based on the weight that the ultrasound is showing, it would be wise to do a C-section instead of doing the induction and trying to push him out, because having a baby that big, like I said, it could cause complications for both him and for myself, because if you're pushing out a 9-pound baby, most likely there will be some tearing going on, and I mean, nobody wants that. Also for him, you know, his shoulders could get stuck, and it's just a bunch of different things. So obviously I didn't want a C-section. Not that I was totally against it. Throughout my whole pregnancy, I obviously wanted to have him naturally, but I was aware and open-minded to the fact that if something happens and the doctor says it's best to do a C-section, then I'm not gonna bother to put up a fight, because at the end of the day I just want my baby to be here safely, and so I'd rather be safe than sorry. So if they say that a C-section is the best thing to do, then we're gonna do a C-section. So when she told me that, I mean, I was bummed, kind of scared, but at the same time I'm like, we done reached too far to be scared. There's no backing out of this now. You want your baby, this is how you're gonna have to get him. Just make up your mind and get with the program. So I didn't really have a choice. I could have said no, but like I said, I'd rather be safe than sorry than to be stubborn and be like, no, I want to push him, and then complications come and then something goes wrong and I lose him or something, and I'm like, nah, I'm not taking that chance. Let's just go with the C-section. So that was on the 2nd. They scheduled my C-section for the 3rd, which was the very next day. But what happened is I didn't get to do the C-section on the 3rd, because whenever you're doing any type of surgery, you need to have blood on hand in case anything goes wrong and you lose too much blood. Then they will be able to have that extra blood to supply you with. I didn't have that blood on hand because, like I said, I wasn't prepared to do a C-section, so I felt like it wasn't necessary for me to go and get blood donors. But so they had me scheduled for the C-section on the 3rd, but because I didn't have any blood donors, they had to push it to the 4th. So on the 3rd, I was scrambling trying to get some blood donors to match my blood and come and give their blood. I had to get your blood matched and blah blah blah. So because of all that, it takes a while to get the whole blood thing worked out. They pushed the C-section to the 4th. The night before my C-section, because I wasn't as prepared for a C-section as I was prepared to push, I was like nervous, scared a bit, and just like uncertain, because I'm like, I feel like I didn't do enough research. I didn't know exactly what the C-section entails, so my mind was going all over the place, and the last thing I wanted to do was go into a surgery stressed out. I was like, no, we're not having that. So I did use my headphones the night before my C-section. I had a labor playlist that I made, and I listened to my playlist, and it really just helped calm me down, and it really helped. So I did that the night before my C-section, went to bed. 5 o'clock in the morning on the 4th, nurses came, brought in a hairnet and a gown, and she told me to go ahead, bathe, put on the gown, put me hair up in the hairnet, and then get back in bed, and when she's ready she'll come and prep me for the C-section. So after I showered and I got changed into the gown, she came and she prepped me for the C-section. Now, I didn't do as much research on C-sections, but I was aware of the process and the prep and everything. And I was more scared of the prep work for a C-section than the actual surgery itself. So first things first is she obviously shaved me, and then she had to give me a catheter. Listen to me, right? A catheter is a pee bag, basically. There is a bag with a tube, and they push the tube in your pee hole, your urethra, if you want to be technical. So they push the tube up your urethra to connect it to your bladder, because when you have the anesthesia, you obviously can't move your feet, so you can't walk, and so you won't be able to get up and go to the bathroom on your own, so you have to be peeing in a bag. Now, I don't know about you, but I wasn't comfortable with the thought of a tube up my pee hole, because I'm like, that's a very small hole. All I know is pee come out of it, man, and nothing supposed to go inside it. I'm like, this shit gonna hurt. It didn't. It was uncomfortable, obviously, but it didn't hurt necessarily, but that was one of the things I was scared of. So after she gave me the catheter, she gave me some IV. I went in my room and I waited for them to take me to the operating to start the surgery. So it was a while before they came for me, because I got up and bathed at 5, and then I did my prep at 6, and then I don't think they came to take me to the operating room until like maybe 11 or so. So like all that time I was sleeping, because I was like, too much was on my mind and I just wanted to relax, and I was actually really tired, so I was just sleeping for that whole time. So they finally came for me at about 11, took me to the operating room and got me ready to do the anesthesia. Now this was another thing I was seriously scared of. You want to be in the video? Okay. So for anesthesia, it's a huge needle going into your spine, right? And I wasn't comfortable with that whole idea of a needle in my spine. I was like, this gonna hurt, suppose it's going wrong and they paralyzed me. Like, I was just extremely scared. But anyways, got into the operating room, they set me up for the anesthesia, and the needle wasn't going in. I don't know exactly what went wrong, what the issue was, but we were there for a good at least half an hour trying to get the anesthesia into my back. And it was terrible because they just joking me with the needle, trying to get it into the correct place over and over, and it wasn't fun. It was very painful. I cried. That's the first time I cried since I've been in the hospital. I cried because, like I said, it's a big needle going in your back, and she putting it in each time, and she missing whatever spot it's supposed to go into, and it hurts each time. It was not fun. And then you have to be bent over in this really uncomfortable position, and I was mostly just frustrated because I'm like, why is this happening to me? This is not supposed to be so hard. This is not supposed to take so long. Like, it was really, I was crying mostly out of frustration, but it also was extremely painful. So when she finally got it in, I was like, thank the Lord, hallelujah, let's get this shit on the road. So, had me on the operating table, and from videos I've seen, I didn't know that they strap your arms down. So I was strapped to the table, like the table is there, and then there's these two things for your arms, and they strap you down. So there I was on the table with my hands out, looking like Jesus on the cross, and they put the gown up like right by my chest, so I couldn't see anything. It was a lot of people in the operating room, but I wasn't paying attention to that. I had my eyes closed most of the time because I was like, I just want to be calm. I don't want to fret up myself. Like, I just want to be calm. Yes, I'm talking about how I got you. Yeah, you want to tell your story? You want to tell your story? Yeah. That's what happened. Anything else? So they put the curtain up so I couldn't see anything, and then they started. Like I said, I was trying my best not to like pay attention to like the sounds or look around, because I feel like seeing stuff or hearing stuff would have just psyched me out. So really and truly, I was just not asleep, but like I tried not to like pay attention exactly to what was going on. But the anesthesia was there, so obviously I couldn't feel anything in terms of pain. But you do feel like you know, when your foot asleep, it's like you could feel the kind of pins and needles, and it's like if you touch your foot, you feel like you're touching your foot, but you can't feel the sensation in your foot. So that's basically what the anesthesia did. I could feel touch, but you couldn't feel the sensation of the touch. As soon as they took him out, he started crying. I cried, but it wasn't a big emotional bawl down the place as I thought I was going to cry, but I did shed a few tears when he came out, and after I heard him cry, it was more like just a cry of relief, because like I said, at that point I was just like really frustrated and anxious, and I just wanted him to be here. So it was just more a cry of relief, like, oh my god, finally he's here. Yes, you were finally here. Yes, mommy was waiting on you. Yes, you want to say something? You want to add a piece to the story? Yeah? After he came out, I guess they took him to get cleaned and whatever. So it was a while before I actually saw him. I do know that when he came out, because he was overdue, he passed stool while he was still inside me, which is the meconium, and he swallowed some of it. So afterwards the pediatrician explained to me that, you know, they had to try to like clean out his lungs to get all of that out of his system, and they had to put him on antibiotics. I guess that's why it took so long for them to finally bring him to me so I could see him. So after they got him cleaned up and they wrapped him up and everything, they brought him to me. I still was strapped down to the table. The doctors were still doing whatever they had to do, I guess, to like take out the placenta and stitch me back up and all of that. But they finally brought him to me, I'd say about maybe half an hour after he was born is when I finally got to see him. So my hands were still strapped down to the cross. So I didn't like get to touch him, but they brought him like right next to my face, and like they rubbed his face on my face, and I got to see him, and his eyes were already open, and he was just looking all around, and he looked me in my eyes. It was really a precious moment to finally see him. It's like to carry somebody for like 9 months, and then you finally get to see them. It's like, oh my gosh, like you were inside me, like wow, this can't be real. So it was a really special moment. And then he was by me for about maybe a good 3 minutes or so, and then they said, you know, they're gonna take him back to the maternity ward. And I picked out clothes before they took me to the operating room, so they said they're gonna take him back to the maternity ward and get him changed and everything. So I was like, okay, like I had a choice. So I was like, you know, okay. So they went ahead and the doctors finished up whatever they were doing. Now this is where my whole story took a left. Like when I say a left, like Jesus ain't had the wheel no more. He let go the whole vehicle went down the drain. I don't know what happened. But after they took him out, they took him out the operating room and carried him back to the maternity ward, and they were finishing me up. I don't know if there was something going on in terms of I had any kind of complications that they were trying to fix or something, but I was on the operating table for a good minute after he came out. I swear, like a good hour or more after he came out, and the anesthesia wore off. I can't explain to you guys how traumatic that was, but I felt everything. I don't know if it was like the sewing up, but all I know is there was like some kind of tugging going on through my skin, and like I pull it. It was just crazy. Like, okay, imagine a thick jean, like imagine you sewing up a thick jean pants with fishing nylon. Is that what you call fishing? Like a fishing line and a dull needle. So you're sewing up a jean pants with fishing line and a big dull needle. That's what my skin and the whole of down there felt like. Because like I said, the anesthesia was wearing off and they were sewing me back up, and I was feeling everything. And I was like talking to the nurse, and I'm like, I could feel, and I don't know if she felt like I was being dramatic and she wasn't taking me on. And I was there bawling. Like when I said bawling, I was screaming down the place, because imagine you could feel people operating on you. Like that was just crazy. And they finally realized like how traumatized I was, and they was like, okay, we're gonna give you something for the pain. So she was like, okay, we're gonna give you something for the pain. And so they gave me like the actual, I don't know what you call it, but it was like some other type of anesthesia, but it's the type of anesthesia that completely puts you out, which she didn't explain to me that's what she was going to do. When she said she was gonna give me something for the pain, I thought she was just gonna give me like another injection to like deaden the area. I didn't know she was going to put me to sleep. So without warning, my body started to like slip away from me. She didn't explain to me when she said she was gonna give me something for the pain, so I didn't know they was going to put me to sleep. So I'm there, and I realized like my body's slipping away. Like I was having an outer body experience, and I remember all that was running through my mind is help, help, I am dying, because that's literally what it felt like. I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, imagine somebody putting you to sleep and they didn't tell you that they're putting you to sleep. You just feel your body slipping away from you. I'm like,
hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
It was scary, and it's like I wanted to scream out like, stop, something's wrong, and I couldn't move my mouth, I couldn't move anything. Next thing I know, I was just completely out. And the next time I woke up, I was back in my room on the maternity ward. And when I woke up, I figured, oh, they put me to sleep. But it was crazy, because like I said, she didn't explain to me that they were putting me to sleep. So when I felt it happen, it was scary, and I honestly thought something was wrong, and I was dying. It felt like blood was, I don't know, it just felt like I was dying. Like I can't explain it any other way, but I felt like I was dying. So woke up from the anesthesia or whatever it is that they did, and I was back in my room on the maternity ward, and he was in the cot next to my bed, and the nurse was there, and my mom was there as soon as I got out of surgery. So well, she was there even before, so she was with him from since he came out. And the nurse was there and she was like, would you like to hold the baby? I'm like, bitch, really? Of course. Like, give me my child. So I finally got to hold him. Finally. After 9 long months, I finally got to hold my little boy. And then we just started attempting to breastfeed. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother time, for a whole nother video. But yeah, that is pretty much my birth story of how I finally got to hold this little guy in my arms. Right? Yeah. That's how mommy got you. That is our birth story. But he's finally here, and I'm just thankful for that. He is amazing, he is healthy, and he's doing great, and that is absolutely all that matters to me. He is a bundle of perfection. Honestly, I couldn't have imagined anything else than what God has blessed me with. So I'm extremely thankful for that. But thank you guys for watching my video, and I hope to see you guys in another one. Bye. Mwah.